Derrick Eugene Character, born May 4th, 1988. Basketball is a very interesting sport. Depending how you look at it and your experiences with it, the game can be the greatest blessing for you, an escape from life's harsh realities, or something that comes easy because of the natural physical gifts or being placed in the right situation. I say it's interesting because if you are that guy that it comes easy for, you sometimes neglect the little things it'll take to keep you a part of the game at the highest levels. Is it your fault? Somewhat. Only you ultimately control your destiny, but part of it is not, because along with those gifts you're blessed with comes blindness to what's real. People, hard work, attitude, education, and intuition. Heavy is the head. Character was one of those guys that was blessed with natural gifts from day one. You could see from a junior in high school that he was meant to play basketball. But along with those gifts came three things that were virtually fighting against him. Let's get into it. Salute to my guy So Swell for this request. It took some time, but I got you, big dog. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Derrick Character is a 6'9" New Jersey product that was a star at St. Patrick High School and Fanwood High School in Scotch Plains. He transferred to Notre Dame Prep for his senior year and was ranked top 5 as a power forward and top 2 in New Jersey behind Earl Clark. Some sites and recruiting services actually had him ranked as the best prospect in his class over Greg Oden and Kevin Durant entering high school. Stunt number 1, just outside the window. In 2005, there were 9 players taken in the NBA draft right out of high school. It was the most ever with the 2004 draft and close second with 8 high school players taken. Of the 17, there were a handful that turned out to be nice to good players in the NBA, and only one in Dwight Howard that became an all-star. The league recognized that things were going in a detrimental direction, with any and everyone with a name making the jump, and implemented a rule together with the players' union. Yes, the players agreed to this, that made it impossible to jump straight to the league from high school unless 19 years old and 1 year removed. That rule was officially implemented in 2005 and took first effect in 2006. Yep, the year Derrick was leaving high school, putting him just outside the window that could have changed his life. He was projected to make the jump straight from high school, and had he, would have been taken in the lottery or at least first round based on the hype he had built. This would have changed things for him, allowing him to come in with the confidence of a first rounder, years younger, and with a lottery or first round contract where he would have time to let his game develop without having to look over his shoulders in thought of being waived or sitting at the end of a team's bench. Instead, he'd have to go to college, where he'd waste 4 years of his youth and plummet in the future NBA draft. Stunt number 2, bad rap. In my opinion, the second stunt in Character's career came because of the attitude and disposition he carried that completely alienated him from his college of choice, Louisville, and also the attitude he carried about himself as far as taking care of his body and respecting the game. He wound up staying in school years longer than he should have and was out of the league way sooner than he should have been because of it. Character has said himself that he didn't want to attend Louisville. Instead, he wanted to attend Stanford. Because of the people guiding him at the time, he said he chose Rick Pitino in the Cardinals, which turned out to be a horrible fit for him and the school. He was suspended for the first 3 games for taking improper benefits, and that would be the tip of the iceberg for the Louisville prospect. In his 2 seasons with the school, he's been suspended a total of 17 games and struggled with his weight, which we'll talk about later. He was even reprimanded by the team for breaking curfew twice in one night. This guy's attitude was way out there, as he thought he shouldn't have even been in school and carried himself like it. In a game against Player of the Year Tyler Hansborough and North Carolina in the 2008 Elite 8, with a chance to go to the Final Four, the embodiment of Derrick's character, no pun, could be summed up in one play where he thought he was fouled and it wasn't called. He stayed down court pleading his case to the ref while his man Hansborough ran the floor and scored a critical point that caused Louisville to lose the game. With his hands on his hips, it would be the last game he'd play for the Cardinals. He would be academically ineligible in year 2, and Coach Pitino decided it was better for both he and the team to go their separate ways. Was his attitude because of him being a star since 14? Him being the youngest invitee to the Nike All-American camp, or because entering high school he was rated the #1 player in his class, or the people around him telling him how good he was and would be? Either way, he had it, an attitude that rubbed people the wrong way, and it cost him years of his youth wasted in school and maybe his career. Stunt number 3, weight clause. Character left Louisville and transferred to UTEP, where he played 1 season after sitting out his first. He averaged 8 points a game and 3 rebounds in his 2 seasons at Louisville and was considered an extreme disappointment. At UTEP, he was a little better, averaging 14 and 8 with also 3 turnovers. It wasn't what you would expect from a guy who was once talked about in the same breath as Kevin Durant and Greg Oden, but he decided to leave school anyway and was taken with the 58th pick in the 2010 NBA draft by the Los Angeles Lakers and signed to a multi-year deal, which was a surprise to most. The Lakers would implement a weight clause in his contract that prevented him from reaching a certain weight or he'd be released from the team. Character has said that he doesn't think his weight played any roles in his not surviving in the league, but he couldn't be more wrong. He's also on record saying how he was more concerned about how he looked in his jersey in his rookie season than his actual production. As a guy picked 2 picks from the final in the draft, you'd think he'd be more concerned with his performance and staying in the league. His priorities were still messed up ever since he began to get notoriety, and him never being able to keep himself underweight or at least at a proper playing weight. This shows how much it was either a serious struggle for him or just not that important. After a few stints in the D-League and tearing his meniscus in his 2nd season, he was waived by the team. He wouldn't play another game in the NBA ever since. He'd go overseas where he's played in lower level leagues and had a pretty okay career. All in all, Character had every opportunity to be the player he was meant to be, and for these reasons, he wasn't able to. He seems like a good guy away from the court, and maybe the guidance in his life played a bigger role than we think. Character's story can be a great lesson for you young ballers out there. Have a great attitude. Work hard and realize the opportunities you have by staying grounded and humble throughout your journey. Never disrespect the game by thinking you deserve something you don't already have. Hard work beats bad attitude and talent in the marathon that is success. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.